Dr. Keenan and I both thought it was really important for the class to occur. There's some obvious reasons for it to occur during a pandemic or even a post-pandemic era. A lot of students are burned out from the screen, and we spend a lot of time in front of screens, even in this class, but it's in a different way. But they had their whole world rocked to where some students really spent all day long in front of a screen.
I think what makes adventure media useful in a pandemic is what makes adventure media useful, period. Adventure media is a trip that takes students outside of what they learn in a normal classroom, and it takes everything that they've learned across their entire curriculum and gives them a chance to go be good at it.
I felt like I was missing out on my college experience because I wasn't meeting people in college, and because Zoom is not the same as actually being with people.
This class has always enjoyed an outside classroom space. It's always we think of those places as being relatively safe for during a pandemic. So we chose to create a story, or at first it was kind of a series of stories on the 806 route, and then it finally manifested itself into we're going to shoot a piece that shows off the region, tells the story of the route through this group of cyclists that are taking on the route for the first time.
So this year's class is different because we're finishing up, hopefully, the COVID-19 pandemic. And the biggest thing about this class has always been there's a week or 8-day long trip that occurs around spring break that you take students, throw them into the backcountry, make them work, make them adapt. It really almost couldn't happen this year. We're not in the backcountry per se, but we're following dirt roads up along this 375-mile route. More local to Lubbock. We're not going into a more exotic location. We're not in the mountains of New Mexico. We're not in the desert of Big Bend, but we're in Lubbock, in the Panhandle, just kind of making a loop and coming back. So the students are really having to work as a true production team rather than just trying to survive the route.
This class is set up perfectly for students to have experiences and figure out how to sell those experiences and figure out how to do cool stuff. And you're all in the shit together and camping and eating and trying to figure out food, and you don't get bonding experiences like this sitting in a classroom. This is crucial. This is the most, as far as I'm concerned, this is the most important class in a university system that I know of.
I cannot even explain the growth that I've seen in myself from the start of this semester to now. There's never been a class that I've ever taken like this with as much field experience and really throwing ourselves into the work that we're doing. So I think that this class has really prepared me for what the real world is kind of going to look like, and the fact that you can have fun while doing a job and that you can make the most out of any situation.
Every time we would ride by a group of students, we always talked about what they were doing. There would be students laying in the road, there'd be students running down the road, like half a mile down the road to get a particular shot. Students that were working audio. Anytime we stopped and did interviews with the production team that was doing interviews that day, they were just hustling. They were really working their tails off.
I would wholeheartedly take this class again. Everybody in this group has been amazing. We're all so supportive because we were all there pushing through together to help each other all get to this goal. This class, I'm very glad that I'm a part of this class.
logistics and all of like the hard thinking that we had to put into it, this year was absolutely worth doing it. I wouldn't have wanted to miss it with these students. I wouldn't have wanted to miss the 806 route that we got to do. That was a really special, unique thing. And I just think that each trip with Adventure Media takes on kind of its own life form. Like the students bond in a different way. The trip affects you in a different way. Sometimes it's really physical whenever we're riding our bikes. Sometimes it's really emotional. And so I just think I wouldn't trade this year's class at all. I think it was absolutely worth all the effort.